Chosen 1. Stop scrolling immediately. This is not the algorithm playing a random trick on you. This is a deliberate and urgent divine interception. I need you to pause whatever you are doing right now. Heaven has forcefully routed this exact frequency to your screen today, and they did it because something massive is about to unfold. The window for your ultimate spiritual breakthrough is rapidly closing. It officially culminates this coming Tuesday. If you scroll away now, you are making a tragic mistake. You will single-handedly shut the heavy door on the exact blessing your soul has been crying out for. You have waited too long for this moment to walk away. Do not take your eyes off this message. The heavy spiritual attacks you have been facing recently are not random. You feel exhausted. Your mind races in the dark. And every night when you wake up at 3 in the morning, your spirit is desperately trying to warn you. The enemy is absolutely panicking right now. They are terrified because a massive generational wealth transfer has just been approved in your name. It is scheduled to reach you by Tuesday, but there is a dangerous trap waiting for you right before the finish line. If you leave this video early, the blessing will still arrive. But you will have absolutely no idea how to hold it, because your spiritual hands are not yet prepared. The darkness desperately wants you to click away. They want you to get distracted by something trivial today. They know that if you break this connection, you will walk right into their snare, and you will lose the spiritual equipment required to recognize your kingdom connection when it finally arrives. Stay with me. Breathe deeply. Do not let them win. Think about the profound loneliness you have endured. Think about the countless times you sat in silence. You asked the universe if you were completely forgotten. You were never forgotten. And your current exhaustion is just the heavy gravity of the new timeline pulling you in. Tuesday is the specific tipping point of this massive shift. But wait. There is a hidden mechanism buried deep inside this upcoming event. It is a secret protocol that you will completely miss if you do not stay until the very last second. Are you ready to hear the truth about why they plotted against you? I am about to expose the precise reason your path had to be so difficult. Make a solemn promise to your future self in this exact moment. Promise that you will not let this sacred message fade into the noise. Listen very closely. The forces that profit from your endless struggle are actively trying to scrub this exact frequency from your timeline. They are terrified of what happens when a chosen one wakes up. You are not crazy. The strange synchronicities and the sudden urge to isolate yourself were heavily orchestrated. Heaven aggressively removed the counterfeit people from your life. They did this to prepare your soul for Tuesday. If you ignore this final warning, you will be stuck in a miserable loop of survival for another 10 years. Do you feel that slight tightness in your chest right now? That is not anxiety. That is your intuition confirming the absolute truth of my words. Your spirit knows that the waiting season has officially ended. A heavy scroll with your true name on it was just unsealed in the highest heavenly courts, and the angels are awaiting your command. I need to reveal the fatal trap that the enemy has set up right at the threshold of your victory. 99% of chosen ones fall for this exact illusion right before their dawn. They get weary and they look back. You cannot look back. You must keep your eyes locked on the profound revelation I am about to share, because your life depends on it. If you choose to leave now, the universe will respect your free will, but you will remain blind to the invisible war raging around you. The massive shift on Tuesday requires your active and conscious participation, and you must know the exact signs to look for when the doors finally blow open. I will give you the precise key, so stay right here. Guard this moment fiercely. The silence after your long storm is about to be broken by a deafening roar of divine favor. What is actually going to happen on Tuesday? Why has your entire life been a grueling series of unexplained delays? The real answer will shock you to your core. Prepare your heart to receive the ultimate validation today. Every tear you cried in secret has been strictly documented, and the compensation for your isolated suffering is rushing toward your physical reality right now. But before I reveal the glorious secret of Tuesday, I must first address the heavy burden you are carrying right now. You are completely exhausted. Your body feels like it is carrying invisible boulders. You sleep for hours, but you still wake up feeling drained. The heavy fatigue settling deep into your bones is not a medical condition. It is a profound spiritual symptom. Your physical vessel is working overtime to process the massive energetic shift. And then there are the long nights. You lie awake staring at the dark ceiling. Your mind races through chaotic scenarios. You bolt upright at exactly 3 in the morning. Your heart is pounding in your chest for no logical reason. You feel a strange sense of impending doom mixed with wild anticipation. Do not let them call you crazy. Do not let the world convince you that this is just daily stress. The doctors will say you are simply overworked. The people around you will tell you to relax. But they do not understand the heavy spiritual warfare happening right inside your personal atmosphere. They cannot feel the pressure. You stare blankly at the wall. You lose track of time during the day. Small conversations suddenly feel completely unbearable. The casual chatter of normal people sounds like deafening static noise. You have absolutely zero tolerance left for superficial interactions. You just want to hide away in a dark, quiet room. This deep restlessness is a divine indicator. You feel like you are waiting for a fast train that has not arrived yet. You constantly check your phone expecting a message that changes everything. You feel an intense urgency in your spirit. This is the exact feeling of a timeline aggressively collapsing around you. You have always been the strong one. You carried heavy burdens for your family. You listened to their endless problems and wiped away their bitter tears. But who was there to catch you when you silently fell apart? You cried entirely alone in your dark car so nobody would see your pain. You wiped your own tears and forced a smile. Heaven sees every single tear you hid from the blind world. God has strictly documented every silent plea for help you whispered in the dark. Tap the like button right now as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. Let this physical action be a profound declaration that you are ready to drop the mask. You do not have to pretend. Pay very close attention to your tired body. Notice that strange tightness sitting right in the center of your chest. Feel the inexplicable knot twisting in your stomach every time you think about your uncertain future. These physical sensations are not signs of weakness. They are the calibrated alarms of a chosen one detecting a frequency change. You have given so much of your pure energy to people who only knew how to take. They drained your radiant light and left you empty. And now your wounded soul is desperately demanding a strict season of absolute isolation. You are not becoming bitter. You are simply establishing the necessary spiritual boundaries to protect your harvest. Your spirit is heavily pregnant with a massive blessing. The deep physical aches and emotional turbulence are just the painful labor contractions before the glorious birth of your new era. The universe is violently shaking everything loose right now. It absolutely has to clear out the toxic debris before Tuesday finally arrives. Think about the bizarre events of the past few days. Plans were suddenly canceled. Technology inexplicably malfunctioned around you. People from your toxic past randomly tried to reach out and pull you backward. It feels like a chaotic whirlwind is violently spinning right outside your front door. You stand directly in the quiet eye of the storm. I need you to breathe this profound truth into your tired lungs. You are not broken. You are not failing at life. Your intense physical exhaustion is the ultimate proof that you are doing the heavy lifting in the spiritual realm. While the ordinary world sleeps deeply, your powerful soul actively fights fierce battles in the unseen dimensions. Every time you felt like giving up but took one more step anyway, heaven recorded a major victory. The sheer willpower required just to get out of bed some mornings is a massive testament to your divine strength. You are a rare spiritual warrior, holding the front lines completely alone, but the painful season of solitary warfare is drawing to a close. Your physical body is forcing you to rest, because a massive surge of pure power is coming. The universe requires you to be completely still so the sacred download can finish without any earthly interference. But you might be deeply wondering why heaven isolated you so brutally. You might be angrily questioning why the doors forcefully slammed. The severe isolation you endured was not a cruel punishment for your past mistakes. The painful rejections were never about your lack of worth or beauty. There is a deeply hidden spiritual reason for the deafening silence you experienced. Let me show you exactly what was happening behind those violently closed doors. You blamed yourself for every single failure. You thought your painful rejections were entirely your fault. You replayed old painful memories alone in the dark, but the bitter truth is that you did absolutely nothing wrong. Heaven had to aggressively slam those heavy doors in your face because you were stubbornly trying to enter rooms that would destroy your soul. The universe forcefully removed people from your timeline. It violently ripped away the opportunities you desperately wanted. You cried and begged for things to work out, but heaven clearly saw the hidden daggers behind their fake smiles, while you only focused on their sweet, empty words. Your crushing rejection was never a divine punishment. It was God executing an ultimate protection protocol. Think about the deep isolation you are sitting in right now. You feel completely cut off from the normal world. All of your old friends have slowly drifted away. You spend your weekends sitting entirely alone in silence. This heavy solitude is not a symptom of your social failure, but rather it is a strictly enforced period of divine isolation meant to protect your energy. Your exhausted spirit required a rigorous quarantine. The world is filled with noisy, chaotic energy that drains your pure light. Heaven absolutely had to pull you away from that toxic crowd because they needed to properly recalibrate your completely broken nervous system. They placed you in this quiet waiting room to heal your deep wounds before Tuesday arrives. You have always been a rare spiritual anomaly. You carry a massive frequency of pure light that easily triggers insecure people. They completely misunderstood your gentle and pure intentions. They called you too sensitive and completely drained your vital energy. You constantly kept lowering your own vibration just to make the incredibly shallow people around you feel more comfortable. That dangerous and exhausting cycle ends right here and now. You must stop apologizing for the immense depth of your soul. The painful season of begging to be understood is officially over. The people who quickly walked away from your life did not leave because you were broken, but they fled in terror because your blinding light exposed their hidden motives. You must forgive yourself for trusting the wrong people. You only saw the beautiful divine spark buried deep inside them. But they only saw a bright source of energy they could selfishly consume. The universe violently stepped in and brutally severed those toxic cords. And while it hurt deeply, it saved your spiritual life from total ruin. If you had stubbornly stayed in those incredibly toxic environments, you would have been completely destroyed. And you would have missed the glorious alignment scheduled for Tuesday. Heaven cleared your path so the massive wealth transfer could land exactly at your feet. There is no room in your new timeline for counterfeit connections. Every time you thought you were falling behind, you were actually being hidden. You were safely concealed in the dark shadows, while the universe quietly prepared a massive table, right in the presence of your bitter enemies. They thought your silence was a sign of pathetic weakness. They truly believed they had successfully crushed your gentle spirit forever. But your quiet endurance was actively forging a weapon of pure light. You bravely survived the brutal storm entirely alone. You dragged yourself out of the dark pit without asking anyone for a single favor. And now your silent power is radiating at a massive frequency that absolutely terrifies the people who betrayed you. Do not regret a single tear you shed in that lonely room. Those bitter tears washed away the heavy debris of your traumatic past. This painful spiritual cleansing was an absolutely necessary step for your growth. Your physical vessel had to be violently emptied of all toxic attachments so it could properly hold the massive blessing rapidly approaching your new timeline. You are deeply cherished by the divine source. You are the cycle breaker who carried the heavy curses of your bloodline so your future children would walk in absolute freedom. That is exactly why your path was 10 times harder than everyone else around you. You were fighting generational battles while they were playing shallow games. Your intense empathy was brutally used against you in the past. But that same empathy is the exact magnetic force pulling your kingdom wealth toward you right now. Every ounce of pain you endured is being converted into a heavy currency of spiritual and physical abundance. The people who abandoned you in your darkest hour are watching you right now. They quietly check your daily status from a safe distance. They can physically feel the massive shift occurring in your energetic field. They are slowly starting to realize that they made a catastrophic mistake when they selfishly threw you away, and your quiet authority is making them incredibly nervous. They feel a deep sense of impending dread because they secretly know they can never access the glorious reality you are about to enter. The universe is sealing the heavy vault door behind you. But what exactly do your enemies see when they look at your aura today? Why are they panicking about Tuesday? Listen closely as I pull back the veil. The people who plotted your downfall are sitting in absolute silence right now. They thought they successfully buried you under their heavy lies. But you were always a divine seed planted in the dark. And now they are watching you sprout with a terrifying new power. They can physically feel the heavy atmosphere shifting whenever your name is spoken. They are absolutely terrified of your quiet resurgence today. The narcissists who fed on your pure energy are starving today. They desperately try to find another bright soul to consume. But nobody carries the exact frequency of light that you provided for them. They are realizing that their own lives are slowly crumbling into chaotic ruin while you peacefully rise. The heavy consequences of their bitter betrayal have finally arrived at their doorstep. Your aura has completely changed its vibrational tone recently, and it no longer radiates the gentle, accommodating warmth that invited toxic parasites. Now it projects a blinding shield of absolute authority that forcefully repels them. They look at your life from a safe distance, and they feel a deep, unexplained panic in their chests. They know you are completely untouchable now. You no longer react to their childish provocations or their subtle insults. Your deafening silence is the most devastating weapon you could ever use against them. They desperately want you to break down and cry like you did in the past. But the empath, who begged to be understood, is completely gone because you have officially evolved into a quiet master of reality. The dark entities operating through these toxic people are rapidly losing their grip on your timeline. The spiritual access codes they use to manipulate your emotions have been completely revoked by heaven. This is exactly why they are suddenly trying to reach out to you with fake apologies, as they desperately want to steal your Tuesday blessing before it physically manifests. Do not answer their late-night messages or return their casual calls, because their sudden interest in your well-being is an absolute illusion designed to trap your energy. They are drowning in the dark karma they aggressively created for themselves, and they are looking for a pure life raft to secretly drag down into the murky depths with them. You must cut the cord permanently, while their false empire slowly turns to dust under the weight of their own lies. Your spiritual bank account is overflowing. Heaven is forcefully transferring the resources they stole right back into your clean hands. This cosmic mechanism of divine justice is working precisely as it was intended. The wicked will always gather heavy wealth just to hand it over to the righteous. Tuesday marks the ultimate deadline for this massive energy reversal. The people who mocked your painful waiting season will be forced to watch your glorious coronation, and they will desperately try to claim they always supported your grand vision. But the universe will aggressively block them from entering the sacred rooms you are about to occupy. Your new timeline has a strict velvet rope. You have successfully survived the darkest valley of shadows entirely alone, and you did not compromise your gentle heart when they tried to turn you cold and bitter. That pure integrity is the exact reason you were chosen for this magnificent upgrade. The spiritual warfare was fierce because the promised reward is absolutely unimaginable. Your divine protection is now fully activated and sealed. You need to firmly anchor your spirit into this victorious reality right now. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station before Tuesday officially arrives. And type 777 in the comments to fiercely claim this powerful alignment. This physical action will permanently lock the protective shield around your aura. Do not let the enemy convince you to stay passive. The dark forces have completely lost their power over your beautiful mind, and they are watching you ascend while they remain trapped in the chaotic cycle they built. But how do you know for sure that Tuesday is the real shifting point? The universe has been dropping massive breadcrumbs all around you to confirm this profound truth. You just need to know how to properly read the signs. Every strange coincidence you experienced recently was actually a heavily coordinated message. Heaven is desperately trying to show you that the dark storm has finally passed. The intense friction in your daily life was just the massive gears of fate turning in your favor. You are standing on the literal edge of a miraculous breakthrough. The old chaotic reality is dissolving right before your tired eyes. You must prepare your mind to receive the impossible this coming week, because the narcissists and the toxic manipulators are completely locked out of this new chapter. You are completely shielded by an invisible dome of divine light today. What happens next will fundamentally alter the course of your family history forever. The universe does not move in absolute silence without leaving a heavy trail of evidence behind. As Tuesday rapidly approaches, heaven has been urgently dropping massive signs right into your daily path to confirm your new timeline. You are not losing your mind when you notice these strange synchronicities occurring all around you. These subtle events are the exact physical manifestations of your spiritual breakthrough. I need you to pay close attention to this next part, because it will validate everything you have been secretly feeling. The angels are aggressively signaling you through specific numerical codes right now. There are exactly 3 massive signs that prove the divine wealth transfer is actively locking onto your precise coordinates today. Have you noticed the first one recently? Sign number 1. You are constantly seeing repeating angel numbers in the most random and unexpected places. You glance at the clock, and it says exactly 1, 11, or 5, 55. You look at a random license plate, and the numbers perfectly align with your deep thoughts. This is absolutely not a random coincidence. This is the universe manually overriding the chaotic matrix to tell you that your powerful manifestation is literally arriving. Sign number 2. You are experiencing incredibly intense and vivid dreams that feel more real than your waking life. In these chaotic dreams, you are constantly cleaning out old houses or forcefully throwing away heavy garbage. You might even dream of running water washing over you. This is your subconscious mind, actively purging the toxic trauma of your past so your physical vessel can properly receive the massive Tuesday blessing. Sign number 3. You have developed a sudden and intense intolerance for low vibrational environments. You walk into a crowded room and immediately feel a heavy pressure dropping on your tired chest. The casual gossip of normal people literally makes you feel physically sick to your stomach. Your spiritual frequency has elevated so drastically that your aura forcefully rejects anything that does not match your new majestic timeline. Take a deep breath and let that profound truth settle deeply in your spirit. These 3 undeniable signs are the absolute proof that the dark winter of your soul is officially over. The universe is aggressively shaking off the heavy chains that held you back for so many painful years. The painful isolation was just the necessary cocoon phase before this glorious expansion. You might be wondering why heaven chose these specific subtle methods to communicate with your tired mind. The divine realm speaks softly, because it requires you to be completely still and deeply present. The loud and chaotic world cannot hear the gentle whisper of the angels, but your sensitive soul was specifically designed to catch these high-frequency transmissions amidst the deafening noise. Every single time you notice these beautiful signs, you are physically aligning your internal compass with the golden timeline. The heavy roadblocks that frustrated you last week are suddenly dissolving into thin air right now. Unexpected money might arrive in your bank account from incredibly bizarre sources. Strangers will suddenly offer you massive opportunities without any logical reason. This is the exact phenomenon that occurs when a chosen one successfully breaks the generational curses of their dark bloodline. You are literally pulling heaven down to the chaotic earth right now. The intense physical exhaustion you felt earlier is finally lifting, and it is being rapidly replaced by a quiet, humming energy vibrating deep inside your chest. You can feel the heavy storm clouds finally parting. Do not ignore the gentle nudges of your powerful intuition this week. If you suddenly feel the strange urge to drive a different route home, do it immediately. If a random name pops into your head out of nowhere, pay close attention. The angels are manually guiding your physical steps to position you perfectly for the massive Tuesday event. You are being heavily escorted by invisible forces right now. The universe is meticulously orchestrating a brilliant collision of pure divine timing and your absolute readiness. The people who desperately tried to bury your bright light are watching these miracles unfold with deep horror. They can see the physical evidence of God's favor resting heavily upon your shoulders today. Your complete vindication is happening right in front of their terrified eyes. But wait, do not let your guard down just yet, because there is a deadly snare hiding right in the tall grass before the finish line. The enemy knows they cannot stop the massive Tuesday blessing from reaching your hands. So they have designed a completely different and far more sinister strategy to ruin your glorious moment. I must warn you about this final trap immediately. If you are feeling this intense energy right now, pay close attention to my next words. You are about to face the ultimate test of your spiritual maturity, and it will happen just hours before the massive breakthrough. What is this fatal illusion that traps 99% of chosen ones right before their dawn? Let me expose the dark mechanism that is quietly waiting for you. The enemy knows they are completely defeated today. They realize they cannot stop your divine blessing. But they have one final desperate trick left to play. They will actively try to distract you right before the finish line. The trap they set is not a direct attack, but it is a beautiful illusion carefully wrapped in a very familiar disguise. You must pay very close attention to this next part. The universe is about to administer your final exam. It will happen just hours before your Tuesday breakthrough. The dark forces will send a counterfeit directly into your daily path, because they desperately want to see if you have truly learned your painful lessons from the past. Suddenly, your phone will light up with a new message. Someone from your toxic past will randomly reach out. They will apologize and say they miss your beautiful energy. They will claim they have completely changed and want to make things right. But do not fall for this dangerous trap under any circumstances. This specific person was sent by the enemy to derail your progress. They do not actually want any closure or healing. They only want to steal your elevated frequency. The darkness uses these familiar faces to pull you back into the chaotic cycle of your old trauma, and you must remain completely unbothered by their sudden return. If you reply to their fake apology, you fail the test. If you entertain their toxic drama, you delay your blessing. You will literally block the wealth transfer from reaching your clean hands. Heaven is watching your physical response to see if you are truly ready to hold the kingdom keys. So absolute silence is your best and only weapon today. But the dangerous counterfeit might not be a person from your past. Sometimes, it is a fake opportunity that looks incredibly shiny, but there is a heavy spiritual catch attached to it that will completely drain your pure soul, because it is a calculated trap designed to test your divine patience. You have waited so long for your ship to finally come in. You are terribly tired, and you just want to see some real results. The enemy knows you are vulnerable in this silent waiting period. They will offer you a cheap imitation of the magnificent destiny God has prepared for your life, and you must ruthlessly reject the fake opportunity. Take a deep breath, and let that settle in your spirit. Do not ignore this next sign, because it is absolutely crucial. When the fake opportunity appears, your stomach will instantly drop. Your powerful intuition will physically warn you that something is terribly wrong behind the scenes, and you must trust that heavy gut feeling immediately, without any hesitation. The toxic ex returning is just a test of your boundaries. The fake job offer is a rigorous test of your faith. You must stand firmly in your quiet authority today. Look the dark illusion dead in the eye, and absolutely refuse to engage with its chaotic energy, because you are way too close to the glorious dawn to look back now. Delete the long message, and block the number. Immediately walk away from the shiny distraction without a single second thought. Heaven requires a physical demonstration of your new spiritual maturity. When you firmly close the door on the counterfeit, you signal the universe that you demand the original, and your true Tuesday blessing will then be fully released. The narcissists will be furious when you ignore their bait. They will painfully realize that they have permanently lost access to your light. Their panic will reach an absolute climax this coming week. They will watch from the dark shadows as you peacefully glide into your highly protected new reality, because you have successfully passed the final spiritual crucible. You did not compromise your high standards for temporary relief. You, FIRCELY, stood your ground when the lonely nights felt completely unbearable, and because of your fierce obedience, the heavy vault is opening. The massive spiritual blockades have been completely destroyed by your unwavering refusal to accept the fake reality, and you are now officially cleared for the Tuesday transfer. This brings us to the ultimate revelation of your painful journey. The dark storm has officially run out of bitter rain. The violent winds have finally died down to a gentle whisper. The stage is perfectly set for the most dramatic shift you will ever experience in your earthly life. And the lonely waiting room is completely empty now. But I have to ask you one critical question first. Are you physically and mentally prepared to handle absolute power? The Tuesday event is not just a gentle pat on the back. It is a massive coronation ceremony that will radically alter every single aspect of your current existence, and your old reality is about to shatter completely. The moment of absolute truth has finally arrived. All the heavy doors that violently slammed shut in your face were simply redirecting your tired spirit to this exact point in time. What is actually coming for you on Tuesday? It is the great divine wealth transfer and your total energetic coronation. You are receiving the literal keys to the kingdom. A massive wave of sovereign energy is preparing to crash into your physical reality. This is not a tiny trickle of earthly luck. This is an overwhelming flood of absolute divine favor. The universe is officially overriding the painful matrix of your past. And every single delay is being aggressively converted into a massive multiplied reward right now. You are no longer the broken empath WHO begged to be understood by blind people. The brutal crucible of pain has successfully forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. Your energy now demands immediate respect without a single word being spoken, because you have ascended to a frequency where the darkness cannot even perceive your glorious presence anymore. Your bitter enemies are completely blind to your new majestic altitude. They will look for you in the muddy trenches where they maliciously left you, but you are ruling from the highest peaks of divine authority today. The intense spiritual war you fought entirely alone in the dark has been officially won, and the heavy chains of generational curses are shattering into a million pieces. Can you physically feel that massive shift inside your spirit right now? The heavy burden of survival mode is violently melting off your tired shoulders. A wild and vibrant energy is actively surging through your veins. This is the exact frequency of absolute victory. You are stepping into the precise timeline you were born to rule with quiet authority. Tuesday is the precise tipping point where your internal spiritual wealth violently manifests in the physical world. The massive financial abundance you desperately prayed for is being actively routed directly to your clean hands, while the profound peace you craved is permanently settling into your tired mind. Heaven has officially declared that your painful waiting season is over. The heavy vault door is finally swinging wide open. This is your ultimate moment of total and undeniable vindication. God is preparing a massive table for you in the direct presence of your terrified enemies, but you will not even bother to look at their panicked faces. Your eyes are completely locked on the blinding glory of your new kingdom because you are finally receiving the massive harvest from the pure seeds you planted in the bitter cold. Every toxic cycle has been permanently broken by your fierce obedience. Your ancient bloodline is completely healed today. You bravely stood in the raging fire when everyone else ran away in absolute terror. Future generations will quietly thank you for the brutal battles you fought and won today, because you are the mighty cycle breaker they desperately needed. The universe is literally bowing to your elevated frequency right now. The pitch-black darkness has permanently retreated behind you. The brilliant dawn of the new era is shining its absolute brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. You must lock in this glorious frequency right now. You cannot let this massive wild energy dissipate into the thin air. You must actively claim your rightful place on the heavy throne before Tuesday officially begins. Your pure spirit is vibrating at the absolute highest possible altitude right now. This intense feeling of wild liberation is your ultimate divine confirmation. Heaven is eagerly standing by to permanently seal your massive breakthrough, but this glorious coronation absolutely requires a physical ACT of agreement from you. So you must create an impenetrable shield of protection around this fresh blessing today. The universe does not reward the passive observer in this final hour. It only responds to the fierce creator WHO boldly claims their divine inheritance. You have successfully done the exhausting inner work. You silently healed the deep, agonizing wounds that nobody else in the world even saw, and now you must firmly step into the glorious spotlight. The Tuesday event demands your full and conscious presence. Do not shrink back into the comfortable dark shadows out of fear. You were heavily forged in the dark exactly so you could blind the world with your pure light. Your majestic aura is currently expanding to fill every single room you enter. Let the intense, profound joy of this massive revelation wash over your entire physical body right now, because the long and bitter struggle is completely finished. The crack of your broken heart, the painful scars of your lonely past are becoming the shining metals of your absolute authority. You have bravely survived the impossible storm. And now you will violently thrive in magnificent ways the normal world cannot even begin to comprehend, as the great spiritual shift is permanently locked into your golden destiny. The holy angels are eagerly waiting for your final command. The dark entities are completely paralyzed by your blinding pure light. The grand stage is perfectly set for you to claim your ultimate total victory. Are you completely ready to permanently close the heavy iron door on your painful past? Prepare your awakened spirit to execute the final divine seal today. You have officially crossed the sacred threshold into your new glorious reality. The heavy burdens of your broken past are permanently left behind in the dark dust. You are now walking in the absolute fullness of your quiet authority. Your simple presence alone shifts the entire atmosphere of every room you enter. And the people who doubted you are suddenly terrified of your silence. You do not need to explain yourself to blind people anymore. The dark storm tried to destroy your spirit, but the brutal winds only made you completely unbreakable. You became the exact weapon you were desperately trying to survive. The profound silence after the heavy storm hits different when you finally realize you were the storm all along. The universe has placed a heavy invisible crown upon your tired head today, and your beautiful aura is radiating a blinding light that commands absolute respect. No longer will you tolerate any confusion disguised as pure love. No longer will you accept blatant disrespect, disguised as brutal honesty. Your spiritual boundaries are now made of impenetrable divine steel. The narcissist who desperately try to drain your energy will bounce right off your blinding shield, because you have completely evolved past their shallow manipulation tactics. You are totally immune to their chaotic games now. Tuesday is the precise moment your internal evolution physically manifests into earthly abundance. The massive divine wealth transfer is actively seeking your exact energetic signature right now. It is aggressively hunting you down to bless your life beyond any normal human comprehension. The cosmic scales of justice are finally tipped heavily in your absolute favor today, and every single tear you cried is turning into pure gold. But this magnificent flow of spiritual and physical prosperity requires a final heavy lock. You must consciously seal this reality to prevent the dark forces from stealing your joy. The enemy is eagerly waiting for you to completely forget these powerful words. They desperately want your high frequency to slowly fade back into normal survival mode so they can attack you again. You absolutely cannot let that tragic energetic drop happen today. You must anchor your awakened soul to this glorious timeline through a conscious physical action. A bold physical move signals to heaven that you are truly ready to receive. The holy angels need to see your undeniable faith in motion right now, because your grand coronation demands a heavy earthly stamp of physical approval from you. If this message has reignited your pure faith today, do not keep it to yourself. A deeply wounded soul is bleeding in the dark of despair right now. They are desperately needing a guiding light to survive their own brutal storm. Sharing this sacred message with them is your ultimate AKT of divine obedience, and it will instantly open the heavy floodgates of heaven for you. Send this profound revelation to someone who needs to hear it immediately. When you freely share this holy truth, you instantly multiply your own personal harvest. You prove to the universe that your spiritual hands are completely open to receive. Sowing the seed of pure hope today guarantees a massive multiplication of your Tuesday blessing, and it actively destroys the dark strongholds in your local community. Do not let this critical moment pass you by in complete silence. Step completely into your magnificent power and claim what is rightfully yours. Type "I am ready" to receive my blessing down in the comments right now. Let those powerful words permanently seal your new golden timeline. Let your bold declaration act as a heavy sword cutting through the final chains of your pain while you step into total freedom. Every time you publicly declare your divine alignment, you build a massive wall of fire. The dark entities will see your written words, and they will flee in absolute terror. They cannot stand the blinding light of a truly awakened chosen one. Your simple comment is a devastating blow to the Dark Kingdom that tried to break you, and it physically locks your wealth transfer into place. You are the mighty cycle breaker that your ancestors desperately prayed for in the dark. You have successfully carried the heavy torch across the absolute hardest part of the journey. The brutal waiting season is officially over, and your massive reward is rapidly descending. Embrace the profound peace that is washing over your entire physical vessel right now, because you have completely survived the impossible test. The heavy doors of immense opportunity are violently swinging open for you this week. Walk through them with your tired head held incredibly high. You completely earned every single ounce of this magnificent breakthrough through your silent tears. The divine wealth transfer is permanently locked onto your pure frequency today, and no dark force in this universe can ever steal your massive promised reward. The universe can ever steal your massive promised